Yo, what's up? Hey Delta, how are you? S- 7 minutes to start the stream. Yeah, bro. I was reviewing the notes from last stream. So yesterday I didn't stream because I didn't have time. So, but like on the last stream, I finished this script, and now I'm going to start with the next one, which is the next step on the hitbox system, which will be the hurtbox receiver. So, like the hitbox script basically calls the hurtbox receiver when a hit is detected, and all the conditions are met. So this is the next step. I'm good, Delta. Thanks. Just finished studying and now I'm going to stream for like 1 hour or something. Okay, so let's add here new thing, but smaller. So yeah, like generally the conditions that the first script in the process gives you for the hit actually being a hit are wait, what? Yesterday when do you perform? Yeah, I think you can't hear me, so I'll just write it here. Yeah, so like for the hitbox, like generally, your character has a hitbox and the enemy has a hurtbox. So when they get into contact, first there's like a first uh, hit, which gets called here on the on trigger enter. And there are certain conditions that have to be fulfilled for it to work. So like if you hit an enemy which is uh, like the enemies can be stunned in the ground, and only certain types of attacks can work against stunned enemies. So that's one condition. Mm, okay, so yeah, like if all the conditions are met, then at the end here, the Herdbox receiver resolve hit function gets called. And then on the fixed update, here like it checks for the pulses of hits because like a hitbox can hit multiple times. So each time the pulse timer finishes a cycle, this again calls the resolve hit. And now we're going to see today what the resolve hit does. Okay, so this script is shorter than the other one. And here there's like this class which has a lot of data into it. So this is like all of this will get passed from this script to the next one, which is the hit controller. So on this script, a lot of these things are calculated. So for example, the damage will be like the damage of the attack times the attack multiplier from the character. So yeah, like all of these things will get calculated through this code. Then attacker cooldown. This is similar to this class here. It's just like a timer. It stores the enemy that has hit you and the cooldown. Like the cooldown is the amount of time it has to pass until the same enemy can hit you again. Mm, so yeah, like here we have enemy, the cooldown, and what? This is only for continuous blasts to know the damage of the opposing blasts. That's a bit random. I guess it's something related to beam struggles, maybe. Oh, I can ignore it for now. So here we have references to stuff. So like for blasts, there's like a blast Herbox receiver, I think. Let me check. Yeah, there is. So in this scripting that in particular, we only have to care about characters receiving the the attacks, not blasts. So yeah, this is the reference to the controller and the hit controller. Then destructible asset. Yeah, so like I guess objects which can be destroyed like rocks and trees also use this script. This dictionary stores cooldowns for each enemy. Basically, if an enemy hits you with one, either this dictionary prevents him from hitting you with a different. Okay, yeah. So when an enemy that hits you gets stored inside this dictionary, they cannot hit you again until they are out of the dictionary. Unless there's like this flag here activated, which is a problem we saw yesterday, where like because of this flag, you can actually hit an enemy two times or multiple times in the same frame with different hitboxes, and that's a problem I need to solve somehow. But I'll do it later on after I finish the whole hitbox recap. Okay, bro, want to delete this? Okay. So first I need to write this dictionary stars and what? Why is why is the text white? That's so weird. Like I copied. Okay, maybe because the text is white here and the whiteness of the text got copied here. It's so weird. Why is it so dark? What? Oh, so the other text is actually gray. Okay, that's still not the same color. What? Okay, I'm just going to write it my thing. Okay, so we have the dictionary, then on the awake we get a bunch of references. Mm, okay, here there's like a check for in case this is for a destructible asset instead of a character. So I'm going to write it. Okay, then here's the resolve hit, which is the actual important function. Like all the code is this function, as you can see. So let's see. Basically, this function gets called from the hitbox script. Okay, and as an argument, it just gets passed the hitbox that has done the hitting. So if I punch an enemy, the enemy receives a call to this function with my hitbox as a parameter. Okay, then we have a report of Lifeful. He says his game crashed on Windows 10. That's insane, bro. There's no way. It crashed and said couldn't load Vegeta. Mm, Brian's so slow today. Okay, if this is a character and you are in the falling state and hitbox, if you're in the falling state, oh, and the fall is less than 60, yeah, of course. Like, you can only hit falling characters if the fall of your attack is superior to 60. Yeah, so then you get the attacker reference from the hitbox. Pretty easy to get. Be right back. Back. By the way, once you start working on the characters and stages and stuff, don't forget to make a page. Okay. Uh, attacker, attacker. Yeah, you get the reference for the attacker. Then, if the enemy that just attacked you is not inside of the dictionary or this thing or this flag is true, then you can enter here. But if the enemy has already a cooldown, then you don't perform any interaction. So let me mm, resolve it hitbox. Mm, then once we get to this point, okay, there's this brest 2, which I don't exactly remember why it existed. Probably it's here. You can optionally specify the brest that will get stored on the victim. If you don't specify it, okay. I don't remember what the reason for this was, but like, yeah, like the cooldown by default is set to be the dearest value from the hitbox, but multiplied by 0.9, so that by default there are no problems where you hit once and then the second attack won't like connect, something like that. But there's also an optional parameter. It's like if you use any other value than 0 for this thing, then that will get set as the cooldown. Like there's some attack I needed this for, but I don't remember which one was. He ain't getting what he wanted. Mm, okay, I'm going to add here. Okay, by default, the cooldown value is the rest from the variables multiplied by 0.9. It depends also, but the variables plus. Okay, then call for destructible assets. So I can maybe ignore this. I don't care about this right now. Maybe you can actually. Destructible assets also have a result feed. That's insane, bro. I didn't remember this. Well, I'm just going to ignore it. Like I don't care right now, bro. Fix flip X component of knockback if attacker is facing left. Mm, but I thought this happened already here, or maybe no. Actually, no. There's no knockback management here. Yeah. So yeah, like here, if the attacker is facing left, the knockback X component has to change sign to left. So that's what happens here. I'm not even going to take note of this because like it's obvious, bro. And then here, all of the data gets packed inside an instance of this function. So we have the final damage. Where's the final damage calculated? Oh, it was actually already calculated on the hitbox, which makes sense because you need to have access to the attacker's data. Then we have the knockback, the fall, the defend, the facing of the attacker, and a reference to the attacker. Why do we need a reference to the attacker? Probably because there's like I'm pretty sure that there's like a reference somewhere that stores the last enemy that attacked you or something like that. And effect 8, I don't remember how effect 8 works. And it's actually something I should have here. No, it's already added actually. Mm, default effect 8, like I don't care about effect 8 right now. Hitbox center, it's like the position of the hitbox. The center of the hitbox is a song that involves the transform position on the center of the Hebrews collider itself. Why does this matter? Like, why did I need to know the position of the hitbox? Like, there was a reason for it, but I don't. Oh yeah, I think it was to spawn like the spark when you hit an enemy, like the spark effect that appears. I think that's why. Then you have sound ID, okay, stand time, okay too. Like it's just retrieving all the data from the hitbox and also no, it's all actually everything is from the hitbox. Yeah. Then apply hit lag dependent. Okay, here we're applying hit lag already. Mm, so I don't really need to understand the hit lag function right now. Like all it does is it freezes the character and makes him shake a bit, and that's it. So like depending on the damage of the attack, like the base damage, not the total one, it sets a level 1, 2, or 3 of hit lag. Mm, but then we mm, is this hit lag applied to like the victim or the attacker? Applied to attacker. Oh, and here to victim. Okay, but like I'm pretty sure there was manual hit lag override. But why is there only self hit lag? Oh, is it this? Yeah, I think it's this. Yeah. So these two are like manual overrides in case you don't want to use the default values for hit lag. You can actually set a value by hand, and that's it. Mm, So this is applying it to the attacker. So if he's a character, you use the player hit controller, and if it's a blast, you use the blast hit controller, which makes sense. So I need to add here. This script is easier than I thought it will be. Okay, so hit lag. I'm going to make this molten red. For what? I'm getting trolled, bro. Like this applied here to both attacker and mm, why do I even use flags if I could just if I'm already checking for this being positive? It's kind of weird. Well, I'll just leave it like that. I don't want to change anything right now. Mm, so feed lag. So this is for the for like the victim, I think, or no? Player hit controller. Mm, okay, yeah, this is actually for the attacker. Yeah. But then why is this called self? Shouldn't it be like this the self one? Because why do I have the names in reverse, bro? I'm kinda stupid, I guess. Like, for some reason, the hit lag that's applied to the attacker is called self. Well, actually, it makes sense because like it's the attacker who's performing the action. So self means attacker, even though this script is for the victim. Well, it doesn't matter. It's just like semantics. Mm, so I need to write here. And then after that, you call the apply hit. Okay, and the combo reference is only important. Okay, this is, I guess this is like, yeah, the combo target. So basically, if the enemy is a character, then you set his combo target to yourself. Set a reference to the victim to the control. So yeah, and then okay, here's something about effect 8. Like I really need to remember what does effect 8 and IK8 do in this on my game, because on Little Fighter 2, effect 8 sends the enemy to a specified frame when you hit them, but here it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work the same. Like it does the same things. It's for the same, like the in the end they are for the same kind of stuff, but they don't work the same in the two games. And then IK8, it's for the same as effect 8, but you don't have to hit the enemy. You just spawn like a hitbox that doesn't hit. It just detects a collision. Mm, so this is hit. Yes. Yeah. So I'm just going to write that. Let's hit character, then set their combo target to yourself. Effect 8 flag to turn. I'm going to make this red. Okay, on this thing I can actually do Control F, which is pretty good. Okay, and there's only this bunch of code left, fixed update, so every, yeah, this just checks if a cooldown has stopped, and it removes the entry once the cooldown is over. So yeah, like this script was way easier than I thought. So actually the hitbox script itself is way harder than Hurbox receiver, like 3 times harder at least. So here I'm going to write fixed update. just iterates over the cooldowns and the remaining moves with entries in a cooldown. Just edit entry when it cooldown is over. Yeah, so that's it for this script. And now finally we're getting into the heat controller. It is long, it's pretty long. Right, I'm probably going to have to divide the hitbox system into more blocks. Maybe I can, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'll make it like double because there's like hitbox system for characters and a similar but a bit different one for blasts. So I'll need to have like here on the left I'll add the blast one. Mm, okay, let's go into the hit controller now. So first, this is not all only related to the hitbox system, but also to the player as a whole. You know, because it has properties like health, speed, defense, attack. Like it also has some stats. So yeah, it's pretty important. So first, we get a reference to the main player controller, also to the state machine, because there are state transitions here, as you can see here. Change state. Then there's rigid body original constraints. So this is, I think this is for like the freeze. The freeze from the heat lock freezes your rigid body so that you can't move. So in order to like freeze the character, I also need to save a copy of the original constraints. Because like for freezing a character, you set all of the constraints to, you turn them all on so that he can't move, neither rotate or anything. Then you have these properties, the fall, like the amount of fall points accumulated, be defense points accumulated, the health, the key, the defense, the attack. Then fall time window. These time windows, I think, are maybe the amount of time it takes for the fall and the be defense to start recharging. You know, because like when you hit an enemy 3 times in a row, working hard or hardly working. I'm working hard, bro. I'm streaming almost every day. I was hardly working like a month ago, but right now I'm working epically. Or you mean Laceful, because he's been writing in the chat instead of working. Maybe you mean him. So hit lag. Okay, there's a hit lag flag. Then you have hit lag timer. Makes sense because like the hit lag has to end at some point. And accumulated knockback. Oh, I remember that. Okay, yeah. This is kind of weird because, like, when you get hit, your character gets frozen for some milliseconds. So if you get hit like 3 times, for example, while you are frozen, I need all of the knockback from the hits to get accumulated so that if you get hit by 2 enemies at once, you get sent flying twice as much, you know? So in order to do that, I have this vector which accumulates all of the knockbacks that you get while you are like frozen after being punched. So that's why this exists. The accumulated hits counts the amount of hits that the character receives during the hit lag period. So this is because like if I just accumulate all of the knockbacks without doing any adjustments, then your character just goes away flying. Like he gets out of the map because of all of the velocity that gets accumulated. So I had to do a thing where each consecutive hit counts less than the prior hit. You know. Then we have ignore hit, used for example for counter stances. Okay, yeah, like this flag. Okay, but it's a number, not a regular flag. 1 equals ignore front attack. -1 is ignore back attack. 11 is ignore all attacks. 0 is don't ignore attacks. Yeah. So with this integer, you can specify if you want your character to like be invulnerable to attacks. Then got attacked is used to detect that the character has just been hit. 1 means from the front, -1 from the back, and 0 that it didn't get hit. Gets reset to 0 every frame when player controls right. But why does it exist? Is my reason. My question, like why do you need to know what side you were attacked on this frame? That's a bit weird, I guess. Then last attacker stores, yeah, this is what I said before. This stores the last enemy that hit you. Useful for counter attacks. To teleport right when okay, yeah. So like the last attacker gets stored even if you defend. So has anything changed on the map? Bro, I'm just coding right now. I'm not working on the map. I won't work on the map until after a lot of time. Awake. Mm, yes, but not now. Okay, controller. Yeah, this just references then start. Okay, Fallen B defense start at 0. You set the original rigid body constraints and now update. So you have float due to time. Okay, this is like the reduction of fall and B defense. There won't be fewer trees, but I will make them invisible so that they don't get in the view. You know, I'm going to make a system that makes the objects that are like blocking your view invisible. Mm, I need to take some notes. Update. So this update function just mm, decreases the fall and it is over fall. and that's it. Like there's nothing else I need to say. Then fixed update, float all the time. If hit lag, okay. So when there's hit lag, the hit lag timer decreases, and if it goes below zero, that means the hit lag is over. Now the flag becomes false. The animator speed is back to 1. The constraints get set back to the original ones, and okay, this is like the accumulated knockback. Okay, yeah. Have you finished those first 3 steps yet? The ones you said were the most complicated. No, I'm still on the first of the 3 steps. Like, look, I'm still here. I have not moved from there. These are the 3, and I'm still here. Like, I'm here, bro. That's where I'm at right now. Then here I just yeah, check if there is feedback. There is decrease feedback on everything, and when timer is over, stop the feedback. Okay. Also, if there is accumulated knockback, and the velocity of the fluid. Very nice notes. Thanks, but like I'm pretty sure that if someone who actually knows about code documentation sees this, will probably kill me. Like, this isn't actual documentation. It's just like a diagram to help me know how all of this crap works. When you finish all the steps, you will finally place the characters. No, like these steps are for me to remember how the project works. After I remember how the project works, then I'll have to work on optimization and bug fixing and some other stuff. All that stuff just stays in my head. Like it stayed in my head when I was working on it originally. Like I didn't actually take notes. I just did some like comments like these ones on the code, but I didn't have this. So now I'm paying for that mistake by having to relearn all of it. And since like I know that I will forget it again, that's why I'm actually making this. So that the next time I forget it, I can just reread all of this. It's doing heavy lifting. Oh man. Yeah, like it stays for like a few weeks, but when you stop using the code, like you just forget it eventually. Like I remember the main stuff, but all of the details are gone from my head. Okay. Then there's this thing. What's this? Okay, yeah, this is the key regeneration. If key is not maximum, then regenerate it. Okay, I don't care. If health is okay, if you're dead, then you're dead and die. Basically, that's what this This line means if you have no health, then die. So die and stop and cease existing and be removed from the game. Okay, then there's a function here, update key. Make sure key never gets below 0. Okay. If key plus amount. Okay, so I think this function is called when you want to like update the key, either add key or subtract key, and like it just makes sure it doesn't go below 0 or over 1,000. Okay, then we get to the apply hit, which is the part which actually matters to me right now. So we receive the hit data, and the hit data has like all of this data from the hitbox that hit you originally. So from there, you retrieve the attacker, the reference to the character that has attacked you. Then you get the facing of the attacker. Character faces the attacker if both are facing a different direction. Okay, yeah. So this variable basically tells you if you are facing your attacker or you are not. Then set the code attack depending on the side of the attack comes from. Yeah, here you set the god attack variable here, which I don't know why do I like for what reason do I use this variable, but I'm going to take notes for it. So I need to write. mm, and finish the hit resolver if the character is set to ignore hits. The Vegeta you put there have any different powers? No, like the Vegeta I have here is the same one, but but some of the sprites are different. Like, where there are no new characters so far. There's no new content. I'm just like reading my code again. Most common what? So ignore if the character is not ignoring the hit, then do nothing. Okay, and then if he's ignoring the hit, then stop the function. And that's it. Okay, now if tech defense. Okay, now we're actually getting instead of what happens when you get hit. So checks if player is not successfully defending against the enemy hit. So this means there's a tech defense function somewhere. Where is that function? Here. Yeah, so like I don't really care. This just like returns true if you have successfully defended and false if you haven't. So if you have not successfully defended from the hit, what happens? Well, first of all, your health goes down, okay, by the amount of damage divided by your defense. Then, if your total fall is like below 70, then increase it by the amount of fall from the attack, and then increase the B defense too. Mm, and fall time window. Why is this set here again? What? Oh yeah, this is like. Wait, I don't really get how the fall time window works. Like, when do I even decrease it? Fall time window. For what? Okay, this is very weird. So this means this actually gets decreased on a different script, which I don't get why. Oh, it's here, bro. I'm kinda blind for not seeing it. Yeah, so yeah, like you apply the damage, the fall, and the defend, and then you have the trigger shake hit lag timer. So the time of the shake to be the same as the hit lag time remaining. Okay, so like yeah, like first the hit lag was applied here on the hurdles receiver, and then now the shake is being applied. Like the shake doesn't freeze you; it just shakes your sprite. I guess it shakes the sprite. I don't think it shakes the whole character. Let me see what does trigger shake do. So trigger shake. Okay, this cancels previous shake. Let's start coroutine shake. And where's that coroutine exactly? Here. So I want to see, yeah, player render. So this just shakes your player render, not the whole character, the whole game object, only the sprite. That's all, the only thing that it shakes. So there are no problems with that. Mm, this script is not as bad as I. Well, actually, it's going to get bad now when I get into this part, which is like a mess. Mm, okay, what do I take notes of? Talk about the tech defense. Okay, and now here's the messed up part. If you are falling and your fall is over 60, or you are, no, yeah, you're falling and your fall is over 60, or you're not falling and your fall is over 70, okay, this is kind of a weird thing. Like, why is that even a condition? Like, if you're already falling, what does your fall? Oh, no, this is from the hit data. This is not your fault. This is the fault from the attack. Wait, let me just read the comment. If the character is in falling state, only hits with fall greater than or equal than 60 will hit it, and it goes to a new falling state instance. Also, if total fall is over 70, you go to falling no matter what state you're in. Okay, so inside this, what happens is that your character goes flying away. Basically, you go to the falling state. So that happens either if you're already falling and you get hit by a powerful hit, or if generally your fall goes over 70. So then, how does that happen? If you're not falling and your fall is over 70, here there's a debug log, which I need to comment because it's just debugging garbage code called falling state transition. So X Novak right, check Novak X direction. Okay, so if the knockback is positive, then the knockback right is true, or not, then it's false. And why does this matter? Okay, this probably matters because, like, if you get like depending on the direction you get sent to, you have to go to these frames or to these frames. You know, like, there are two sides you can fall to. So yeah, like it gets compared the facing with the knockback direction, and then yeah, yeah. Mm, okay, I don't really care about this because like this is something that I don't need to change at all. I know it works fine. So I'm just going to write that string, and accumulated knockback. Mm, why is the knockback getting accumulated here? I'm not sure of how did this work exactly. On fixed update. Okay, yeah, so like when hit lag is over, the knockback is applied. That's how it works. Yeah. And that happens in the fixed update. It then makes sense. I'm going to write here a comment. Okay, then add to enemy effect 8 spawn spark default effect 8. So there's this bunch of functions which are called, like always, at the end of fitting logic. So maybe I should uh, read them. Add to enemy effect 8 first of all. So what does this do? Only add if the enemy hitbox that hit you had the effect check mark enabled. So this is effect 8 code. I think I'm just going to leave this. And then later on, when I get to the effect 8 part, I'll code here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And spawn spark. This gets the position of the hitbox. Then the prefab of the spark, which I will probably change later on, because right now for the punching spark, I'm using the same effect as the keyballs being destroyed, but in a different color. So I think I should replace it. Then we have this distance to hitbox. Okay. Then I probably get like this is just calculating the position of the spark to be spawned at. Spawn block hit. What is that? Block hit. Oh, I think no. Okay, this is when you block an attack, and like the circle effect from DVC appears. That's what this does. It's the same as the spark, but for blocking the hit instead, which probably gets triggered. Where would it be? Here. Okay, so let me write here that what's that default effect? Okay. Why is there yet another function? Default effect 8 for easily applying stand effect. Oh, okay, yeah. I cannot know what this is. But again, I will come back to this later when I get to the effect 8. If the conditions. Okay. Finally, call spawn the spark from the feed and put some effect 8 stuff. I'm just going to write it like this for now, and later on I'll figure out what exactly happens, but I don't want to get into effect 8 right now. Then this was if you go to falling state, but then what happens if you're not falling? If you are in any other state than the total and the total fall is below 70, you go to injured state instead of falling state. Yeah, exactly. So this is the same, but you go to just injured state here. And then accumulated knockback also happens. Here I don't compare the last hit to the total accumulated because the Y component is not counted and I'm lazy. Okay, bro. That's epic. That's an epic reason to not call that feature because of being lazy. Yeah, so I'm going to like this is the same as before. The conditions to okay, I'm just going to write if the conditions for falling state were not full. field, then the code is basically the same, but you transition to injury state instead. And that's it. And now we have what happens if you actually defend the hit successfully. So if you have successfully defended against the hit, then first of all, your health still goes down, but now you have like a times 10 multiplier to your defense. Then the B defend of course affects you, but the fall doesn't. Okay, only the B defend goes down. Then you trigger a shake because there's hit lag. Okay, so there's hit lag also when you defend, not only when you attack. That's nice to know. And it's reduced. With by 10 and then it apply. Shake is trigger your render. So there is hit lag also when you defend. And now if your B defend goes over 70, then oh wait. Okay, this is if the hit that's hitting you has like extremely high B defend, then your defend stance just gets ignored and you're thrown out of it. And wait, this is kind of wrong. Okay, this is actually wrong. Like this should not happen, bro. Why? Why did I code it so wrong? Like it only should go to falling state if the fall is really high. Like this just should break the defense, not send you to falling state. But well, it's not really. I don't think it's going to give any problems. No, actually, it will give problems in the future. But whenever that problem comes, then I will solve it. I'm not going to solve it right now. Mm. Like basically because of this, you can't have an attack which breaks defense but doesn't send the enemy to like the falling state. I'm going to like write in red like this that there's a mistake here. How did I never notice this? That's what I don't understand, bro. So shake is triggered. Okay, I don't care. Then trigger. No. If the hitbox and it's over 70, then you could send to falling state for no reason at all. Then if B defend is like if your total B defend is uh like smaller than 70, then you just get knockback and like the effect from the defending spawns, and that's it. Mm, okay. If your total B defense is less than 70 after the hit, then just like knockback on with the effects. If the defense is higher than 70, then mm, go to broken defense state. Go to broken finishing a single one of this game pathway, let's say. The effect it will from the spark. Okay, and that's it for the apply hit function. So we have actually made it to the end of the hitbox, like the hitbox roadmap, let's say. But there are some remaining functions. There's a add hit lag function which is called from hitbox receiver. I don't think I'm just going to read it fast. So accumulated knockback. Mm, what? If he lacks certain is a victim of the hit, the linear velocity will. What? Okay, yeah, so yeah, that makes sense. Like true controller animator speed. Yeah, constraints. Free flow. Yeah, okay. Manual hit lag. It's the same, but instead of using cases like this, you input the amount of time you want. And I wanted to make a change like on the shake. I think I looked at how the shake works on LF2, and I'm pretty sure the characters only shake on the X axis. So I can change that later on. And here's like an effect 8 function, spawn spark, and then another effect 8. So yeah, like since I'm getting leaving effect 8 for later on, I can just have this finished. So basically, that's all of the hitbox system for characters. But then we have like mm, let me see what other scripts do we have. We have mm, Hitbox SP. So Hitbox SP is for super punch, I guess. Yo, Kensh, what's up? Look at all of the Hitbox stuff I've documented. Now I'm looking at if there's still hitbox scripts left. Like, of course, there's still the blast part of the hitboxes, which is here, the blast hit controller and blast hitbox receiver. But they are probably going to work like the same as the character ones, but with some nuances to it. Mm, but there's like this hitbox SP, which is for super punch. I think this is just like the detector for like your character detects automatically if he has to use a regular punch or a super punch. Like if you're in front of an enemy that's in dance of pain and you attack, then you will automatically do a super punch. So that's I'm pretty sure that's what this hitbox does. But I think it's the victim which has this hitbox. And it's the attacker who detects the hitbox and as a response uses the super punch. I think. Let me check. No, I'm just going to open the animator and let's look at the dance of pain. Dance of pain, here it is. And yeah, you can see the hitbox SP, which is this one, is getting activated here. So when you're in dance of pain, you activate this box around you, and the enemies that come inside detect it and then use a super punch instead of a regular punch. Mm, I think I'm just going to ignore this because like it works well. I'll just have a mention to it here. Like I don't even know if this should be inside of the hitbox system because like it has really not much to do with the hitting system actually. I'll just have like a separate box outside hitbox SP images a list of what images a list of affected enemies by your hitbox. How is it called? In hitbox SP. Hitbox SP collider. While in the OP state, your hitbox SP gets activated and all enemies who get inside of it. What exactly happens? Like, I'm pretty sure there's some flag which gets turned on here. Hmm. Please update. Entry super punch equals true. Yeah. To avoid problems with multiple characters activating and deactivating the super punch flag on the enemy, just make it to go through again on every frame in case he's registered on dictionary. Hmm. Okay, yeah. So basically, this script just gets inside of the enemy's player controller and activates this flag. And if a character has this flag activated, then when they try to punch, they do super punch instead of regular punch. All of the enemies that get inside of it get well, their super punch flag activated. Okay. Now, are there any other hitbox scripts? Well, I guess IK8 and Effect 8 are kind of hitbox related, but I don't want to look at them right now. But I think I should. I should probably look at these two before getting into the next step. So I'm actually going to add them here instead. Just like they are very related to the hitbox system. Okay, now let's see if I can very fastly go through the blast hit controller and hurtbox receiver. Well, there's also the hurtbox B, but hurtbox B is for beam struggles, maybe I think. Wait, can blasts do effect 8? They can, right? Or maybe they can't. Effect. I think they can. Really? That will be not good actually. Like I will want no, they do effect 8 because like the Gogeta blast, like the machine gun of blast that he throws stuns the enemy, and if the enemy gets stunned, that means I'm using effect 8, but I don't know how does it work. Mm, set a struggle group of the blast. Like Herdbox B is the same as like the regular Herdbox script only does one thing, and that thing is to set the owner of the Herdbox. Like this is the regular Herdbox. So the Herdbox B is an expansion of the which also manages the like this is the line of code from the original Herdbox, and all of the rest of stuff is probably things about uh, beam collisions. Mm, yeah, exactly. Because here, like, if whatever hitbox is hitting you is a character and not a blast, then the function gets ignored. So this means that this is only to manage like collisions from blasts to other blasts. So So yeah, I'm going to ignore the hardbox B because that one is for the beam struggle, which I'm not at yet. That's the next category I'll be looking. Then if I'm not starting there, then I have to start at blast hardbox receiver. Have the controller, hit controller. Mm, then enemy cooldown. Yeah, like hardbox receiver is for the cooldowns. Beam struggles. Bro, beam struggles are so messed up. Like they are two different bugs. And actually, one of the bugs is not even from the beam struggle code. It's from like the hitbox system somehow, which I don't understand. Mm, okay, let's see. I'm going to also open the original Horbox receiver so that I can compare both codes to see what the differences are. Okay, they actually look pretty different, bro. Like, I thought it will be exactly the same, but well, I guess it's not. So I need to read it through. First, you get the reference to the attacker, then blast rebound. Okay, yeah, so like, why do I have this debug block, bro? That kills performance. If hitbox is character and hit controller. Wait, what? Oh yeah. Like on the blast hit controller, there's a reboundable property which allows the blast to be able to be rebounded. Then also you have the piercing one. The piercing just makes sure that the blast does not get deleted after, like destroyed after hitting something. Mm, okay, then if you have been hit by a character and you are reboundable and uh, and your state is not rebound, that's kind of weird. Then go to the rebound state, and the rebound state will manage by itself the rebounding. Okay, so first of all, I need to add that this hitbox thing has to, like, it's actually common. It's not only for characters. It's my bug. So I need to move it to like the center. Then this is for characters, and for blasts, there's the blast hitbox receiver. Yo, Delta, I'm making very good progress today. Okay, so first of all, you have the rebound. So if the blast rebound double block is true and the enemy is a character, then go to rebound state. Oh, actually, have to. Okay, resolve hitbox. If the blast reboundable flag is true on the enemy's a character, then go to rebound state. Then, if the enemy okay, then here the attacker gets added to the dictionary, then the hit data for this is way simpler than the hit data from the character side. Let's see again how the character looks like. We'll look at all of this hit data. So many data, but here only 3 of the properties are being used. And hit controller struggle group. No, bro, I don't want struggle groups right now. Okay, but this just means that hit lag is only applied if there's no struggle. Because of course, during a struggle, you don't want the blasts to be freezing in the air. They have to be moving, like struggling against each other. Okay. Hit lag is only applied if the being group is here. Okay, yeah, so the code for the hit lag is exactly the same. But for the hit lag is same as structure. And then on the fixed update, like I can just copy paste this because it's the same as the character one. And now let's go to the blast hit controller, which is way shorter than the character one. Like it's not even half, like it's even less than half, which is pretty epic because that means that we are pretty close to finishing the hitbox system. Blast hit controller. Okay, so first of all, a very interesting thing is these properties here. You have, of course, the health of the blast, like the amount, like when the health goes to zero, the blast gets destructed. And of course, you have the base attack. No, this is not the base attack. This is like the attack multiplicator, which I'm pretty sure this gets set whenever a character spawns with the point, the blast. So that will be seen later on the point system. You can zoom in so much. What is that, bro? Why is the A messed up? That's funny. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take a note for these properties at the beginning, which are pretty interesting. Mm, Hitbox, beam struggle, original restraint. Mm, yes, piercing, avoiding the blast, getting to destroy state whenever it hits something, be vulnerable for allowing events. Well, look at this, I can like do this, and now I know that the reboundable is related to that part. That's pretty epic. Once I have more systems, I'll start connecting everything with arrows. At the beginning, there are some interesting properties. Yeah, reboundable for allowing rebounds, and continuous beam for I don't know what the continuous beam tag is for, to be honest. Okay, I guess it's just like a flag for identifying. Then hit lag, accumulated knockback. Do blast even get knockback? Like, I don't think this is even necessary here. Struggle group, Siri beam is not on a struggle. Mm, yeah, then awake, start, fixed update. Okay, so here it just applies the hit lag and accumulate knockback. But again, I really don't understand why do blasts need to have knockback applied to them. That's kind of weird. Could that maybe be the reason why there's some bugs with the beam struggles? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I need to copy paste this because it's basically the same. And health. Okay, yeah, so if the health goes below 0, then go to destroy state. And if struggle group is not 0, then mm, okay. Then, well, I guess since the linear velocity is cancelled here when you're inside a struggle, I guess this can't really affect like the results of the struggle. Then apply hit. Bro, the apply hit is so small, but like compare this to this. Like bro, we went from this like 100 lines of code to only like 6 lines or something. It's insane. If continuous beam, then return. Yeah, because like continuous beams don't care about being hit. Like they don't have HP or anything. The only thing that can stop a continuous beam is getting shrinked. Like as continuous beam starts expanding like this, and then when it gets into struggle, it can shrink if you are losing the struggle, and when it gets small enough, then it gets destroyed. But the camera is following me again. I have to do that with the hand for it to stop following me. Okay, then apply hit. Yeah. Then if it's not a continuous beam, then both facing the target faces the target if both are facing different directions. And hell, why do I even set this if I'm not using it, bro? But again, I'm scared of like commenting it because no, but like this is literally a local thing. Yeah, this is not used at all. Like I'm going to comment it, bro. Like the reason there's so much garbage code here is because for doing this script, I just copy pasted the original hit controller and I edited it. So there's a lot of stuff that should have been deleted, but I forgot to delete. Health, yeah, like you apply the damage, and then you there's hit lag, so you apply the shake. It's so this means that by having the continuous beam, you can like ignore being hit, but I don't think that that should be used that way. Actually, it's a continuous beam, ignore the hit. If it's not, then apply a damage and the hit as long as the hit lasts. Then you have add hit log, okay, which is the same function as before, manual hit log, and the shake, and yeah, that's it. There's nothing else. So yeah, I think I finally finished the hitless system, the hitbox system, sorry. So let's make this green. Now, I want to, before getting here, it's by the way, I think I should do first beam struggles and then cutting system because beam struggles are way more similar to, like, they are way more related to hitbox than cutting is. Actually, for cutting, I might not even look at it because I already have like a document which kind of explains how it works, and I actually don't need to modify anything cutting related because like I haven't found any bugs from the cutting system. So I'm pretty sure I could just skip this for now at least, and then in the future if I need to understand anything from there, then I can look at it, but I might skip it, you know. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, bro. So I'm not going to modify anything from there. So I might just do these two, then the beam struggles, and then skip to the next stuff. So let's do effect 8 and IK8 now. I kinda want to stop, but it will be also cool to get these two done, you know. So I'm going to try continue a bit. But also maybe now I can do some connections with arrows. Input, or maybe not. No, actually I can't. Like I'm pretty sure I have like with red color all of the categories that I need to merge later on. And here there's also like input stuff, cutting, and point. Like all these stuffs they haven't arrived yet. So aura SFX, cutting is well here you have. Oh yeah, because that's blast controller. Okay, so let's see what all of the effect 8 scripts are. So we have effect 8 manager, and I think that's it, right? Like the rest of the effect 8 code is inside of the hitbox code. That's what I want to look at it already because I just passed over it. So it will be easier if I do it now than if I do it a different day. But yeah, like it seems like the only effect 8 script is the effect 8 manager. But then for IK8, there are two scripts, and that's because IK8 uses directly replaces the hitbox. Like effect 8 is like part of the regular hitbox, while IK8 is a completely different hitbox. That means that IK8 is probably harder to understand. Mm, so yeah, I'm going to start with effect 8. Okay, so then I'm using a set instead of a dictionary. That's pretty epic. So what does this do? How does effect 8 actually work? So this just has a set and a timer. And fix update. If the timer is greater than this, then clear the effect 8 detections. Bro, what is this? This is so weird. Else increase the timer, then add a detection. Where does this even get called from? What? Let me look for it. Add detection. It's only called here on the hit controller. And what about delete detection? It, this one is literally never called. That's funny. Okay. Add detection there. It's from the hit controller. Oh, it's okay. Let's see. Okay, so Effect 8 monitor just has a set inside of it, and the set just stores the enemies which have Effect 8 right now. And like after 0.1 seconds, it gets cleared, which is pretty insane. That means that it only takes like a few frames until it clears. So I'm going to where do I even add this? Like, should I make it part of the hitbox system? Yeah, I think yeah, because like Effect 8 is actually part of the hitbox system. The one that should go apart is IK8, so I'm going to add it here. Like, need to make this a bit bigger, a bit down here. Hit monitor. And then set of layer controllers. Just to store the enemies that used effect. It clears after 0.1 second. I just want to describe one function, which is the add detection. That's enemy layer controller to the set, and that's it. So that's what the manager does. And now, what does effect 8 actually do? Let's try to figure it out. I need to go back to hit controller to know this. But hardback receiver also has something. Effect 8 is so weird, like what? So there's this flag instead of the hardbox receiver. Okay, and I should first come here to hitbox and effect 8. So this is just a flag that you set here on the hitbox. So you create a hitbox and turn on effect 8, and that's it. So then on the hurdles receiver, you store that flag inside of the hit data. And then what is this? Where are we right now? This is resolve hit. So this happens at the end after applying the hit. If your enemy is a character and not a blast, then the hitbox. If the hitbox has effect 8, then okay, but I think this if yeah, I kind of remember now that there are two different effect 8s. Like this one here is only for like this makes your enemy know that he has managed to hit you. That's what this does. This part of the code. So like the player controller also has an effect 8 tag. Let me look at it. Bro, effect 8 is so confusing. Like effect 8. So stars if an enemy was hit on this exact frame. Yeah. And that's about it. Mm, do you have anything written here? Yeah. Okay, then we have the hit controller part, which is the interesting part for effect 8. So, like, what we have to look at is at this function, add to enemy effect 8. So, if the original hitbox that hit you has effect 8 activated, then get the reference to the effect 8 manager and add yourself to the set from that manager. And that's it. Okay, so I'm starting. Yeah, like I think I now remember what effect 8 does in this game. So in LF2, effect 8 allows you to, when punching an enemy, you can change the state of the enemy. You can change what frame he's in. But here, instead of that, when punching an enemy, I allow you to have a reference to the enemy you just punched, so that you can just take a reference to he and change whatever you want. That's what effect 8 does here. I'm pretty sure of. So here, Yoga. It's going nice, but I'm very tired. Let's see if I can finish this part. Small spark from the heat and color function. Oops. Bro, why is my font changing to like a darker color? Color function. Bro, what? Mm, so I need to make a connection here. Epic arrow. And now, like, okay, so this means that if you hit an enemy with your effect 8 activated on your hitbox, then after hitting him, you will get on your effect 8 manager a reference to the enemy that you just hit. So now the thing is, how exactly do you access that? Like, probably on the custom attack states, you can like just get the reference to your effect 8 manager and do stuff from there. But I need to see an example. Like, what things, what attack does use effect 8? Okay, yeah, like the super punch from Vegeta. No, the run attack sends the enemy to like Dance of Pain. So I guess that's it. Unless that one uses this default effect 8. Maybe it does. No. Mm, okay, here, explosive keyboard. Yeah, exactly. Look here. This is the explosive keyboard, which is probably the thing that Gordita shoots, I guess. What this does is on this part, it iterates over the effect 8 detections from this character and it modifies the state of the enemies that are affected right now. You see, so like, yeah, I'm going to add a note on how to use this in practice. Okay, note for effect 8 usage. under effect management. Also, your player controller effect is not flag will get activated for a frame in 20 so on. So in your custom states, you can iterate over your manager set and apply whatever thing you want over the preferences of the enemies you could with the effect page. Okay. But then there's also the easy to use, the easier to use effect date, which maybe is for like getting stunned on the ground, like the frame where you are lying on the ground, like after the full Vegeta run attack, something like that. I think that's the one. So let me, bro. Why is this getting frozen? Okay, so I'm going to go to that attack in particular on the animator. Bro, why is my PC exploding right now? Okay, bro. Okay, of course. Now all of the Unity stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the run attack. And now probably if I go to the hitbox here, okay, I have to go to like the last one. Like this one probably does not have. It will have. No, it doesn't have effect date. What? Okay, so this actually uses the default effect date. Oh, okay. Right here, if you don't want to send the enemy to lots of pain. Oh wait. Okay, so the stunning is this part here, stun time. And why did I not see it? Like, where's the code for the stun exactly? So then the last one does not have. Yeah. Okay, so but this is so confusing. So there's this default effect date, which just sends the enemy to dance of pain, and that's all it does. So I'm going to add it here. Additionally, there is the I need to literally take a screenshot of this. Default effect is some variable on the hitbox script. It gives you a default effect is variable on the hitbox script, which gives you a fast way of sending the enemy to dance of pain for as much time as you want. It is used as full load. Now just attach the screenshot. Epic screenshot, bro. Look at that. Okay. So yeah, that concludes how effect date works, I think. Now I just want to see how does this stunning work? Like, why did I not come across the? Okay, so there's this stun time and hits lines. What? It, like, why I don't remember this though? Stun time, hits line stun. I think hits line stun is like for being able to hit an enemy that is currently stunned on the ground. So if you go to like the lying state, it's no stun. Oh, I think this check was actually done on the here. It's lying. Yeah, here. If the enemy is lying in the ground, yeah, okay. But now I don't care about that right now. I want to know how does this stun time work sometime. Okay, this is not used here, so probably it's either on the hardbox receiver. Yeah. Okay, it is passed to the hit controller. Sometime. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, so it's just part of like it's a parameter you give to the falling state. Probably on the falling state. Sometime you send it to the line with the proper standtime, and here until the stand time isn't over, you don't get up again. That's how the stunning works. It's not effect 8, it's just like stunning. I'm going to add that here on the hitbox. Stun. I should add it. I don't know. I don't know where exactly. Mm, maybe here. Well, I'm just going to add it here on the side. Stunning. Okay, so that's it. Effect 8 is done, and I was going to do like a 8 too, but I don't have more time, so I'm going to end the stream already. So thanks everyone for watching and writing in the chat. Really appreciate it. See you next time, which will be probably tomorrow. Goodbye.